Thank you, Michael. I don't know if this radio mic's picking up. Okay, can everybody hear me? Or do I need to stand here? Is that better? I'm going to, in time-honoured fashion, give you a 2-for-1 right now. We're in a land of deal-led promotions. You've seen what's perhaps going on in the world of supermarket retailing. So I'm going to give you a quick King's Speech later, but let me just start off with a King's Speech that I gave and went out on the Oscar night evening to tie in with Colin Firth's awesome performance in the Oscar-winning movie, The King's Speech. It is my duty as your King of Shaves to inform you that we are at war. At war with a common enemy. For too long now, have been charging a king's ransom for a simple razor. And I believe I speak for the people when I say a close, comfortable shave must not be a costly shave. But whilst carry on charging a king's ransom, it is my belief that every man and woman deserve a shave fit for a king. You have my word that whilst I am your King of Shaves, you will not pay through the nose to shave like a king. You must not let your resolve be tugged one way or pulled in the other. Believe me when I say, where there's a king, there will always be an honestly priced razor. Come, join our kingdom. God, shave the king. Cut. And for God's sake, Elizabeth, stop shaving that corgi. Thank you. I seem to have lost the screen now. Let me just see where I am. Using social media is absolutely critical now to spread, not the word of mouth, which is what I would have been spreading about King of Shaves, talking to 200 or 300 people today, you know, even just 6-7 years ago. You'd have heard me talk, evangelise about King of Shaves, how I think it's a great brand, and don't just shave King of Shaves, etc. And you'd have gone away. And some of you might have told your friends and family, and a few of those might have gone down to Boots, and I'd thank you for that. What social media has done, the channels which I'll come on to talk about, it's turned the word of mouth into the word of mouse. And if hashtag EC Forum's trending in the UK and London, and there are quotes coming out from this talk about King of Shaves being the brand you should shave with because it's better than Gillette and it costs less and it's cooler and funkier and all the reasons I would broadcast out to people, that's now dropping into an ether out there about a shaving product which started off looking like that. That's the only pack I've got from 1993, one of my hand-filled bottles that sat on a shelf at Boots, and has now turned into a challenger brand to the received competitors out there. Now, that word of mouse is now got an L in it. It's the world of mouse. We now live in a world of mouse. And there is great and huge convergence, whether it's into Facebook. People who are following that particular story will see they changed their homepage early this week. And now it's got a Twitter-esque style feed down the side, so you can see what all your mates are up to if you've got the time. Now, that may not seem particularly relevant to you, but let me tell you, it is hugely relevant to big advertisers like P&G, who are able to take the data. Martin talked about club card data, but to take Facebook data, analytics, and then absolutely go after their target market like a guided missile. Because it's only you who sees that particular ad on that Facebook page. It can be tailored to you, it can be you. And when I launched King of Shaves Asia in 2008, I served 500 million ads targeted to people in the UK, cost me 120 grand. I stuck it on my Amex card, got a lot of points out of that doing it, ran it myself, didn't listen to marketing agencies who at that time didn't really understand what the hell Facebook was about. And even if they did, didn't know how to make any margin out of it. And you were able to do that. But that targeting and that word of mouth to world of mouse, now we live in a world that looks like that, is critically important. And whatever it is you have, a brand, a product, a service, an idea, a trend to zero business model using the internet, or a hyper luxury new product, there's just been launched a $100,000 razor, marketing at the Chinese and Indian oligarchs, iridium blades, $100,000, it can be yours. They're only making 99 apparently. That world we live in now, that's a category 4 hurricane tracking in towards the Eastern Caribbean, is an increasingly and very turbulent one. And all the received wisdoms of what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing are being thrown out of the window. Social media is an awareness accelerant, a publicity accelerant. It delivers the oxygen of publicity to news announcements. Just witness Stelios' announcement about FastJet yesterday. I picked it up on a Twitter feed at about 3:10 straight out of Sky, retweeted it. Within 12 minutes, it was on 60 news feeds. It's now at 250. It's hit all the papers, all the news. It's all gone out. For sure, it's partially about Stelios and going up against EasyJet or whatever he's going to do with his FastJet product. But the externalization of that brand has been delivered him instant brand awareness globally. Within like that. It's not just a Greek guy who had a success with an airline back in the mid-90s, launching a new airline in the UK. It's potentially a global new airline phenomenon. You know, has he placed orders for the new Boeing Dreamliner 787? He could well have done. He got plenty of dosh. He hasn't have to go to his dad to raise the $5 million like he had to do back in '95. So this crazy world we live in of hurricane, using channels like social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, to get awareness out about what your brand is, what you're doing, where you're doing it, how you're doing it, and most importantly, not brand broadcasting anymore, because that's a little bit passé now. The BA ad to fly to serve, now being cheekily riposted against by EasyJet's to fly to save. You know, that statement, people are often far more interested in digitally dialoguing with people, talking consumers to consumers about what the experience of flying with EasyJet, Ryanair, BA might be. You know, you only have to look at the torrents of upset people about Ryanair and how they charge for every little thing, whatever that thing is, and you can sort of maybe work out what FastJet might be about. It might be about making it all really fast and good and low cost and everything. And if people are already engaged in that and talking about that on Twitter, on Facebook, in discussion groups, in travel blogs, all of that, that's absolutely critical. And the best thing about it all is Rosine Donnelly, the head of marketing, P&G, who spoke at the Sunday Telegraph Business Festival a week on Thursday, where I was in the audience and being encouraged to ask her a question about Gillette, but I sort of didn't, was they are now, and as are all of the competitors in my space, looking at leveraging up the commercial relevance of what's described as social media big time. And I'll come on to what I talk about in terms of smarketing, smart sales and marketing, because that's where you've got to be. Now I'm going to zag off a bit now and just but say something that I did with Mike Tinmouth literally a couple of weeks ago. There was a random tweet that came out from Michael about how Halifax had taken 3.5 months, is that correct? Correct, yeah. To deal with a pretty simple customer, a complaint you had. 3.5 months, yeah? So I thought, well, that's a bit off. I'll tell you what, I'll retweet that. I'll add in a bit of icons at the back. I'll say, well, that's not very good. You better get your act together, Halifax. Find their online thing, put it out there, retweet it, say, please retweet it. Within how many hours?
4 hours. I had a telephone call I'd waited 3.5 months for.
And where did the telephone call come from?
The Chief Exec's office, PRT.
Now, I'm not Alan Sugar, all right? Many people think King of Shaves is an American brand, and they have no idea there's a guy, Will King, from Lowestoft behind it. All right? Which is fine by me, given what's going on in my world right now. But coming to the acceleration piece, we vastly accelerated your complaint there to a point of resolution. There is a business out there that could perhaps be set up to basically search for people who are dissatisfied with stuff, because let me tell you, they post out on Twitter whether they're happy or sad with my products. And I'm one of the few CEOs who follows that via TweetDeck, using that with search streams, Google News Alerts, Twilerts, which is a aggregated Twitter alert system that comes through to me about 2 o'clock, to aggregate all of that complaints or praise, and then go to the businesses who are being complained or praised about, say, let me help you sort out and accelerate the speed of your customer service. Let me tell you, that's a business. That's something clever, and the cost of setting that up is pretty low, and it could be fantastic. Because where we live now, and in this eye of the hurricane, we live in instant immediacy. The Stelios FastJet news story is now up to 269 news feeds, much of them around the world in languages I can't read, and all he's got is a website up saying FastJet by Stelios coming soon. Incredible how that can be done and developed. And when it comes back to your brand, product, service, and let me tell you this straight from the start, the King of Shaves shaving oil that we launched, that was a great product, okay? People say, oh, I don't know how shaving with oil works, and it doesn't foam, and it's not very big, and it's a bit cardboardy, and etc. But I tell you, you could travel on a plane with it. It lasted for ages. It's environmentally friendly. It's recyclable. That's why it's so popular within the British Army, because after they've used the shaving oil, they then store the gun oil in it, out in Afghanistan, Iran, wherever they're out in the field, rather than a big can of shave foam, which is great, and I love that. The whole social media space, in terms of, and I'm just going to go through there, I mean, I'll just quickly touch on that. That's one we put out about a year ago in July, and that's called Shave Sexy, and that's a lady called Diane Wood, who's a professional master barber. She works for me out of New York City, her dad's barbershop, and we basically shot a very sexy, risque ad on YouTube, very professionally done, where she's shaving the guy, giving him the King of Shaves. It was her idea. That sparked off so much controversy, you've no idea. I knew Gillette could never get away with that. There was no way that in Cincinnati, any marketing committee team would be signing off that piece of advertising. And then people say, oh, it's sexist. No, I say, it's sexy. She's in control. The guy's in a barber chair. She might slit his throat. Hopefully not after he's sold his business. But it's there. That generated controversy, got into campaign, column inches, picked up, massive. And then just quickly on here, again, it's on YouTube if you Google it. We found a couple of lookalikes for Andy Murray, Roger Federer, shot a YouTube video. Obviously, Federer, backed by Gillette, was knocked out of Wimbledon. Andy Murray played tennis against Roger with his A's, and he won, and it was fun. And just going to the three of those, the King's Speech one, which was the first one I showed you, which used the original King's Speech microphone from the film, so it had an authenticity about it, cost £3,500 to shoot that. Actually shot in my fiance's sort of front room with a bunch of production people, because she works in advertising, but it was done for that small amount. The leverage of it, it was the 5th most retweeted link viral on the evening of the Oscar nights, according to Social.tv. It was just behind Justin Bieber, something to do with Justin Bieber's hair, or something like that. You know, it's crazy, and that was perfect for me, because we're launching in America. We've launched now in partnership with Remington, in a lot of stores there, and it built up an awareness that the King is coming to America in the right way, in a bit of, fun and humour, and, the correct way. Now, before I come on to that, that's the structure of my business, sort of how I run it, because I'm sort of in the middle of the axle, and it's divided into quartiles, 4 people in each, or 1 person in each. Is when it comes to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Twitter is a news alert system, all right? Don't Twitter, all right? I don't just Twitter on about King of Shaves, the brand. I also Twitter on about help for entrepreneurs, promoting the Entrepreneur Country Acceleration Forum, etc., etc. Insight, I help people. I try to be a wingman to people, business mentor, pass on things which are interesting. Don't just tell people boring stuff, because if you're at dinner, they wouldn't want to hear that. Content's king. Okay, content's king, and creativity has got to cut through the clutter. There's loads of clutter out there now. You've got to cut through the clutter with your creativity. You've got to get people immersed in what's called digital dialogue, C2C, people talking about you one to the other, not just you talking to them or celebrities talking to them. We got Dom Jolly into King of Shaves because he tweeted out, what razor should I use? About half a dozen King of Shaves guys said, you should tweet Will King, send him a razor. He did, I sent him one, he thanked me. And that was lovely, because people love influencing celebrity. You know, that's very bipolar, that's very unusual. And then there's got to be a publicity point. Whatever you do social media-wise, whatever, however, wherever, you can't just put something anodyne out and hope something will happen with it. You've got to pick your moment. You've got to pick your point and go out and hang your hook on a particular reason to get something done. And that's what we've done all the time at King of Shaves. We've had shave.com since 95, first in e-commerce since 99, on Facebook, Twitter, thing 2006, 2007. And the best thing about those channels is they're all free. All right, they're all free. It's trend to zero. The guys who founded them make billions. But for you, it's free. And because it's free, you've got to work out how to leverage it to your advantage. Just quickly, because I know I'm running out of time, that's the structure of King of Shaves. Smarketing is smart sales and marketing. Brandovation is brand innovation. And you see there are two people on the outside. They straddle those. The top guy straddles it because he's got to make sure what we're dreaming up as a product, our next best, greatest razor, which we're working on, trust me, can be marketed effectively. The other guy on the right, he straddles brand innovation and props, which is production and operations, to make sure what we're designing can be made. Perdos is pounds, euros, and dollars. That's my finance director. It's come up with by a guy out of British Airways, actually, there, which was quite funny. And I'm the axle in the middle, and I don't do a whole lot. I just stay in the middle, strong. And my life's a bit weird because I live down the track on what we're doing 3, 5, 7 years out in terms of products and new product. And then I look at what people are saying about us right now, because that's the speed the world lives at. It's a right now speed. Embrace change as a constant, because if you don't, and if you don't get into spaces like the whole social media space, and you don't understand things like Looped, LOOPT.com, next big thing apparently coming down the track from America, or X or Y or Z, you'll be taken out by the competitors who do get it, if not in this country, in other countries who are coming. So that's the gorilla's hand holding a shaving oil. The evolution of shaving. My name's Will King. I hope you enjoyed my brief insight into social media.